let's take a quick look at some of the highlights from this past Long Beach US Coins signature auction. There are few coins in the Lincoln Penny series, and indeed amongst error and variety specialists, that is so fabled and sought after as the 1969S double-die obverse Lincoln Memorial cent piece. A coin that displays spectacular doubling on the obverse to such an extent that it barely requires any magnification to spot it, granting that your eyesight is largely intact. Here we see a seldomly encountered mint-state example of that famous coin, graded by NGC as MS61 Brown. When the auctioneer's gavel struck on this lot, the coin had sold for $19,800. Another fantastic coin featured at the auction was this tremendous offering of a 1652 pine tree shilling, a relic of America's early colonial past, a response to a dire shortage of coinage in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. When this same coin was listed as a part of the Reed Horn collection in 1998, the elongation in the HV section at the top of the obverse was described as resulting from the rocker dies squeezing the silver strips between and through them. As the strip passed through, the dies pinched and then slipped as they completed their pass. The letters HV were then struck properly as the dies pinched, then were drawn out and elongated as the strip was squeezed through the dies. This type of elongation is very typical on the large planchet pine tree shillings and is always found towards the top of one or either sides of the coin. A superb example graded by NGC as MS65, a grade certified by CAC in order to close at auction for $66,000. Now, where error coins are concerned, you can hardly get any more exciting to the collector than a genuine mule coin, where two different coin dies, typically from different denominations that were never intended to interact, were mistakenly used together, as in this coin, where the reverse is a Roosevelt dime and the obverse is in fact a 2001D Lincoln cent, struck on the Lincoln cent planchet. Now, to memory, only 5 such penny dime mule coins are known to have escaped the mint to date. This example was graded as PCGS MS65 red and sold at auction, where it secured a final price of $78,000. In 1926, the San Francisco Mint had the distinction of minting the only buffalo nickel with a mintage figure of fewer than 1 million coins, although just barely so, topping out at a mintage of 970,000 coins. Still, that does officially rank it as the lowest mintage figure buffalo nickel on record. And when it comes to gem level graded examples, the rarity is definitely reflected in the market, where this MS65 graded coin from PCGS, with only 4 other coins in the census report at NGC specifically grading a single grade point finer. Indeed, a deeply desirable addition to any registry set collection that sold at auction for $99,000. On the surface, the Panama Pacific International Exposition, held in San Francisco in 1915, was a celebration in order to commemorate the opening of the Panama Canal late in the previous year. But it was also far more than that, serving as a triumphant, one could argue almost defiant, return to form for the city after being laid bare by a devastating earthquake in 1906, which saw large parts of the city reduced to nothing more than smoldering rubble. To celebrate the exhibition, a set of commemorative coins were authorized, including this $50 gold coin, which was available to purchase either on its own or as a part of larger sets. Unusually, the coin was released in 2 forms, a traditional round coin and an octagonal version, where the round coin is concerned. Of the original mintage of 1,500 coins, only 483 were actually sold, with the remaining number being returned to the mint to be melted down once more. This example was graded by PCGS as MS65 and sold at auction for $150,000. The octagonal version of the coin, meantime, proved a little bit more popular, likely due to its unusual shape, but still only 645 were finally distributed. The opulent asking price of $100 each at the time was likely the main reason why these stunning coins were so poorly received at the time. Today, this example is graded by NGC as MS65 and for its part exchanged hands at auction for $138,000. The 1886 Morgan silver dollar from the New Orleans Mint makes for an interesting case study, as on its surface, the coin is very easy to obtain, especially in circulating grades. A large mintage figure of 10.71 million coins kicked off its life, but it is estimated that perhaps no more than 30% of those were released into circulation, with large quantities being melted down following the consequences of the Pittman Act in 1918. No large quantities were then subsequently released or found in hoards. Combined with a generally, shall we say, less than ideal strike quality, and pristine gem-level coins actually become genuinely scarce, with only 2 finers certified. This PCGS MS65 example was able to secure $156,000 after the auctioneer's gavel fell. Then, somewhat in contrast to the previous entry, the 1884 S Morgan dollar had a more humble mintage of 3.2 million coins, and it seems that most of those coins ended up in circulation through one means or another. The result then is a coin that is easy to come by in low or average grades, but then equally rare indeed in gem uncirculated grades. To paraphrase Dave Bowers, uncirculated coins are both highly prized and highly priced. This being a pristine example of that, graded by PCGS as MS64 plus, it sold at auction for $156,000 when all was said and done. The onset of the Civil War in the previous year almost immediately caused a coinage shortage in parts of the country as people started hoarding silver and especially gold coins wherever possible. The sharp drop in mintage figures for the Double Eagle at Philadelphia to a meager 92,098 coins in 1862 all contributed to the 1862 being the scarcest Philadelphia mint Type 1 $20 coin, not counting the Paquet reverse coins, of course. Now, Doug Winter estimates that no more than 150 to perhaps as many as 200 coins at most having survived to this day. Remarkable then that this example survived not only a civil war, 2 world wars, and 160 odd years of history in between, and counting, in a grade of MS63 plus star from NGC, earning it a closing price at auction of $174,000. The Stellas, whether they be coiled or flowing hair types, as indeed this coin is, was an ambitious experiment to establish a US gold coin that could be easily exchangeable with similar European counterparts, such as the contemporary French 20 franc coin, to aid in international commerce. Or, alternatively, it was a vanity project by politically connected elites, marred in retrospective controversy, doomed either way to fail from the outset. Wherever the truth of the matter may lie, the gold $4 coin has become an essential part of a complete American gold coin collection, and this piece, graded as NGC Proof 65, passed across the auctioneer's podium for $184,500. $500. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.